AU Hoops is back for season 2. We're here at Fair Park Coliseum in Dallas, Texas. I'm Savanna Collins, joined by my co-host, Khristina Williams. Welcome to the Athletes Unlimited preview show.
It's been 392 days since the inaugural season where Tiana Hawkins was crowned champion, and now the field is set as 44 athletes look to compete to reach the top of the leaderboard and be crowned champion. 8 of the top 10 players from season 1 return, looking to finish higher on the leaderboard this season.
And man, did the Player Executive Committee put in some work in the offseason, reaching out to and then signing an amazing group of athletes for this year. Ty Young, Tasha Cloud, Sydney Colson, and new additions, Kirby Burkholder and Lexi Brown, make up the PEC in this player-led league.
So we know this season there'll be a champion for the first time ever, as Tiana Hawkins, we mentioned earlier, isn't returning. So what advantage do you think the returners have coming into season 2?
Man, AU is such a unique league. Obviously, you're going to change teams every week. You're not going to have a coach. You're playing for a captain that's also your teammate. And these athletes are going to play 15 games in 5 weeks. That's challenging in and of itself. Then you have a scoring system to get used to as well. So I think returners really come with the advantage of familiarity and comfortability in Athletes Unlimited, but it's very easy to embrace. You see that the athletes have fun, that they really find their joy for basketball while they're here. So definitely an advantage for the returners, but I think the newcomers are going to enjoy this. We got a little taste of that at the scrimmages. Was there a newcomer or multiple from that game that really stood out to you in just kind of that first run that they had as a league?
Obviously, Alicia Gray is the first person that comes to mind. We talk about standout players. She does a little bit of everything, and I think that that's going to be an advantage for her coming into an Athletes Unlimited league. And then Lexi Hall is someone also who stood out to me in the scrimmages. She played for Team Mitchell, and she's a great defensive player. She was a 2-time Pac-12 all-defensive player. She won a championship at Stanford, so she knows what it takes to win. And I think that she can bring all of those things she's learned into Athletes Unlimited and be a standout player this season. And then, of course, Melissa Smith. How can you not talk about her? I mean, in yesterday's scrimmage, she, it took her a little bit to get it going, but once she got it going, she was able to be great on both ends of the ball. And so she's a number 2 WNBA draft pick for a reason, and I feel like she will also stand out in this league.
That's a great point. It's something that we talked about during those scrimmages, is that some of these athletes haven't played full speed 5-on-5 in a while. It's going to take them time to find their shot, get comfortable, kind of get used to that game speed as well. So I'm excited for once they really settle in these next couple weeks.
Yeah, me too. I think that it's going to be a great season, and we have a lot to look forward to. The Week 1 captains who drafted their team this week were Natasha Cloud, Odyssey Sims, Courtney Williams, and Taj Cole. Without logging any points on the leaderboard, why were they named captains this week?
Right, so we're in a subsequent season. So coming into a follow-up year, those top performers in the previous season are going to get to come in as the captains. But obviously there's some requirements for that. You can't miss anything during the week, or you really give up your captainship. So Lexi Brown and Isabel Harrison have some approved absences. That's why they couldn't serve as captains. And then Dejanay Carrington, she's inactive this week. I don't really even want to call her injured. She's just not cleared to play in the season yet. So we'll see her eventually, but that's what moved Taj Cole up into that purple team captain chair. We have 2 first-time captains, Taj Cole, Courtney Williams, and then 2 captains, they've done this before, Tasha Cloud and Odyssey Sims. What do you think about these 2 coming in who have done this before? Maybe they've had time to regroup and learn from those lessons they learned in season 1 to take into this one.
Absolutely. Last season, although Natasha Cloud technically finished with a losing record, finishing 5-7 as a captain, I feel like she's going to bring that point guard mentality to this game this season. That's really going to give her an advantage. We saw in the scrimmages this week how she was able to facilitate without even playing in some of the minutes. She was there with her clipboard writing down plays and just leading her team from the bench. So I think that just having that mentality coming in will give her that advantage, and she knows this game. She's a WNBA champion. She's won many different awards. Her resume, go down the list. But yeah, she's going to bring that mentality to the game this season. That's going to give her an edge. And then Odyssey Sims. another one. She didn't have the best record as a captain last season. She finished 1-5, but this season, I feel like if she comes in and learn from the past, like how can you better manage your time? We saw how important it was in terms of creating a strategy around the rotations with the players, how important that is going to be successful in this league.
I think what those two have is that earned respect. You know, as veterans who have played in the W, they've had a long career, there's that sense coming in being on their roster that these two have done this before.
And also, Courtney Williams and Taj Cole, they are first-time captains, but veterans in the league. So what are your thoughts about them and how can they be successful as captains?
Well, Courtney Williams would have been a captain last year, so I'm excited that she's finally going to get to take on that leadership role, especially in week 1 of season 2. She missed out on that first week of points, and she was really playing catch-up from there on out, but I'm excited to see what she puts into place this week. The night before the draft, she was putting in some late work in the lobby with her facilitator, Pokey Chapman, and if you notice when it came time to make her picks, she was quick. She knew where she was going when it came to putting together that team. And then you have Taj Cole, who told me on media day that she wanted to be a captain this season. That was a goal that she had for her second season with Athletes Unlimited, and I'm really excited to see how she kind of takes on that challenge. She was so often with Lexi Brown on her teams. They played together all 5 weeks, so I'm really excited for her to get to take on that captainship and see where she goes. And she got off to a great start. First pick, Alicia Gray, come on, that's somebody to build a team around.
Absolutely. And before we get into Alicia Gray being selected #1 overall, I just want to say Taj Cole also has coaching experience in her everyday life. I mean, you go through her Instagram, social media, she's coaching high school girls, I believe now too. Right. So she has that coaching experience. But let's go back into Alicia Gray. She was selected #1 overall, and I think she was the steal of the draft. What are your thoughts on her as a first-time player in the league?
Yeah, I think she's going to thrive in the AU scoring system. She is obviously a fantastic player when she plays 3X in the W, but this system, the way that you earn points at AU, I think it's perfect for her. She's a two-way player, and she's mentioned before, there's parts about her game that go overlooked, but at AU, it's what you earn points for. Rebounds, steals, all the hustle, dirty work, that's where you're gonna see show up and push her up the leaderboard. If I had to make a prediction, I think Alicia Gray's set out to thrive at AU.
Absolutely. And I want to get into these first week matchups. Let's take a look at them.
Let's take a look at these teams at a glance. Starting off with Team Cloud, what stood out to me, she went out and got her bigs early in Jasmine Walker and Jamaris Davis. And I love the addition of Jordan Canada. I'm super excited about that backcourt.
Moving on to Team Sims, what stands out to me is that chemistry that's already there. You have 3 players who are currently active on the Indiana Fever roster. And so I think that's going to be key to the success for them in week 1.
Blue Squad, we got a duo back. Courtney Williams and Isabel Harrison are together again. I love the addition to Naz Hillman in that group. I'm excited to see how they utilize her, as well as Teresa Plaisance. I think she could play a big role on this team.
And lastly, looking at Team Cole, she went out and got Alicia Gray, who's a great two-way player. And then we're going to get that duo back with Lexi Brown as well. So that's something for fans to look forward to. And Jenna Stady, she's someone who stood out to me in the scrimmages, a great versatile big who will make an impact on both ends of the floor. So I think that Team Cole, they have a pretty strong roster looking into week 1.
With just a few minutes left until game time, now is when you need to lock in those fantasy picks. You can put together a 4-roster lineup, and as those players move up the leaderboard, you move up in the AU Fantasy League.
And you get to play for free too. Prizes will be awarded to the season champion and the top team on a leaderboard each week.
So if you're still trying to decide, not sure who those 4 picks should be, Khristina, take us through who your players to watch this week are.
My 4 players to watch this week are going to be Alicia Gray, Jenna Stady, Kelsey Mitchell, and Natasha Cloud.
All right, I have to agree with you on Tasha Cloud. She's on my list too, but I'm going to throw in some other newcomers there. Naz Hillman, Jordan Canada, and Captain Courtney Williams.
I like those picks, and you can draft your fantasy team over on auprosports.com. So head on over to the website to draft your fantasy team.
This past week, we wrapped up our Athletes Unlimited Basketball Media Day, where one of my favorite things that get made are all of the TikToks, with a fun question. I'm going to throw this one to you, Khristina. Who's the most famous person in your phone?
If I had to choose the most famous person in my phone, I'm going to have to say Anthony Anderson.
From
Such
Blackish?
a random one. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Well, they asked Tosh Cloud that same question, and she had a great answer. Take a look.
Who is the most famous person in your phone?
LeBron James. LeBron James.
LeBron James.
This is my moment to flex. LeBron. Yeah. Greatest of all time. Go. Wait, for real? I feel like I can't call him. Can I text him? He's like warming up right in front of us. He comes over, he looks up, I went like this. He was like, Tosh. I said, he said my name! He said my name! He said my name! Did anyone get it on film? After that, he let us go into the gym. He went into Seattle's practice little gym, and he let us back there, so we got to see him work out. I love that man. The most humble person I think I've ever met, and like, will talk to everyone and anyone. I told you. And he plays here the 26th, so let's go! I'm gonna say now I have to make up why I texted you, so thank y'all for that.
So something I got to do during the week was hang out with Courtney Williams. She is my captain that I followed all week long leading up to opening day, and I have some hilarious and really insightful moments I want to share with y'all. So I asked some of your teammates what are classic Courtney Williams phrases. And I feel like you have a vocabulary that just you have.
For sure.
She's a big believer, so every now and then you'll tell her something, she's like, believe it. That's it right there, that's it. Believe it.
Like, you already know. Like, if you be like, Court, you got that on, believe it. Like, Court, you out there doing your thing, believe it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you already know.
Another one I got from him is that you call everybody boss.
Mm-hmm.
When did that start? Where did that come from? And what does it mean to recognize someone and go, what's up, boss? Good morning, boss.
It just make everybody feel good. Like, you a person of power. You know what I mean? Like, you a boss. We a boss.
So, Courtney always says, smooth, smooth. Said it twice.
Yeah.
Is that just like we're on the same page?
Yeah, like, that's smooth. Like, that's smooth. We smooth. Everything's smooth.
So this isn't something Courtney says, but she always uses the gorilla emoji.
Big dog. You know, like, everybody, well, honestly, I wish I could put a dog, because that's really what I be meaning when I put that gorilla, like, I'm a dog, like, you a dog. But the little dog emoji just looked too sweet.
A little too nice.
It looked too nice. So I feel like the gorilla ones will look like, yeah, I'm here. So that's what I rock with.
So we are just a few minutes from game time, and I don't think there's any way to get you more hype than with our new spoken word video. Check it out.
This is what we've always dreamed of. A place to compete.
Where we're seen and heard.
This moment right here, can nobody take this from me?
A platform to be unapologetically ourselves and celebrated for it.
We are the future.
The space to be loud. Where we're resilient, ruthless, radiant.
Athletes Unlimited defies all expectations.
And only we know the determination it takes to get here.
This is where champions are forged.
No more asking, explaining, or justifying what we do.
Get ready, because this is our moment.
Thank you so much for joining us this week on the Athletes Unlimited preview show. It was such a joy to just recap last season and preview tonight's games.
And shout out to those of y'all that started with us on IG Live last year.
Started from the bottom.
Man, have we made some progress. It's just about game time. Head on over for Team Williams versus Team Sims. That's going to be on either WNBA League Pass or the Women's Sports Network. We're going to pass it over to Cindy and Cheryl for coverage. See you next week.